Hi, Migrants with Migraines listeners. My name is Itzel, and I'm here with Albaraa and Diana. The three of us are a part of a group of immigrant youth from New Jersey, which advocates for destigmatizing mental health in our communities by sharing our personal stories. On today's episode, we have a conversation on coping with mental health and mental health illness. So, to start off, our first question I will be asking both Albaraa and Diana, what was the last fun thing you did?
Hey, so the last fun thing I did was, I think it was last week. I just came back to Jersey from Connecticut. I spent a week out there with my girlfriend and my family, and I had a really cool time.
The last fun thing I did was this past Memorial Day. I just hung out with my friends. We went to go get some ice cream and we just like had some deep conversations, which were like I really needed. And we played some like fun games on my friend's porch.
That sounds so fun. And much needed, especially with deep conversations with your friends. I feel like you can go a lot deeper, as opposed to like maybe your family.
Yeah.
Um, But for myself, I believe last week we went out for drinks, my friends and I, for one of my friends' graduations. We celebrated. It was really fun because we were able to stay out for a while. I think we got back home like at 1 in the morning. But it was really fun. We were able to catch up because we hadn't gotten back together in like a month. So you can imagine those conversations, how they went and everything. Um, but our second question, how do you deal with your mental health?
So me personally, like how I deal with my mental health, I do a couple of things. I started off with first educating myself, right? Because I feel like when you know what the problem is, you can like set a plan to deal with it. So
Yeah.
like since like I have like ADHD, a couple things that I did was I meditated a lot in the past, which like reduced my stress and like really allowed me to be mindful of like how I'm feeling. And in the past, I also uh, was like a runner and like I made like running a habit, but I'm currently on a injury, so like I haven't been running lately. And like
Yeah.
yeah, and like running has like also like reduced my stress, like my depression and my anxiety, which like has been like super helpful like in like getting actually like things done in my life and like being productive and like I really do see myself as like uh a long-term runner.
Oh, that's nice. And I'm sure like it helps like clear your thoughts and stuff like that while you're
Yeah,
running.
yeah, definitely.
So how about you, Diana?
So, yeah, I'm a college student, so I can definitely say that there are some days that are better than others, and there are some days that are complete like garbage. I have like depression and anxiety. So when I have like my anxiety biking, I like to make a lot of checklists to make sure that I'm going through everything that I need to talk about, going through everything that I need to do throughout the day and stuff like that. And whenever I feel like my depression is getting the best of me, I like to just take care of myself with extra care, I like to say, which is just like being patient with me and talking to myself like I'm five again.
Yeah, the one thing that stood out to me was like checklists because checklists for myself also like, oh, it's just so satisfying like checking things off and like feeling like you actually got something done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so like you guys spoke about like checklists and do you guys have like any self-care routines that you guys perform daily?
I do, and I really try to stick with my routine. So, I get up at 5 in the morning to go to the gym before work
Oh
because
wow.
yeah, I go to work at 8:30, but it's become a ritual where like every morning I wake up like deciding I'm not gonna go, but I ended up forcing myself to go, and I really just keep myself busy. Having some kind of self-care routine is really just that. You know, I mean, it is so stereotypical of girls, but like doing my makeup also really helps with like my self-esteem and stuff like that, and just taking care of myself. And I work a lot, so just keeping myself busy, like I said, is something that really helps me.
Yeah, well, I have like a mental, like a self-care routine, but it's weekly that I like to do this. I don't really
Okay.
like to do it daily because I feel like it'll lose like its value to me. So I
Hmm.
just
Yeah, that makes
like
sense.
once a week, yeah, once a week I like to do like hair mask, a face mask, I'll do my nails, I'll take care of myself. I'll take like a nice long shower, I'll read a book and whatever.
Those are the best days, having like a long hot shower. I don't know about you guys, but I do like really hot showers because they're just so relaxing. Um, but that's
I'm
really nice.
I'm the complete opposite. I do like freezing showers because it really like gets me like like riled up and wants and like after like a cold
I
shower like
get
I just feel
that.
like I can accomplish anything.
I totally get that. It wakes you up too. That's
Yeah.
that's the thing about it. But I don't want to be woken up, so I don't need that. I want to relax.
Yeah.
Um, so leading into our next question, what do you see in your community or family as an unhealthy means of dealing with mental health, starting with you, Albaraa?
My high school, for example, uh like one like common like theme that I see like students trying to like deal with like mental health is like vaping and like smoking weed. And like I feel like the majority of youth now are just getting into vaping like simply because uh like
It's trendy.
yeah it's a trend and like how accessible like everything is. um like for like from like our like high school there's like vape shops like all over the place. um Drugs in general and like maybe like for like adults like even like some like seniors like some of them are doing like alcohol. But like personally, for me and like within my family, uh the unhealthy means of like dealing with mental health is like either like overeating or spending too much time like on social media or like in front of a screen watching TV. Like I know like I can just get caught up in like scrolling through social media. It can be really addicting. Like I
Oh
have to
yeah.
like delete social media a couple of times. But I try to like only like re-download social media over the weekend just to like catch up with everyone, see how everyone's doing, answer messages, and that usually keeps me in check.
You know,
Hmm.
you have to take a break from social media sometimes because it can be really toxic.
And something I've noticed a lot in my family personally is that no one wants to talk about their feelings, especially when something is clearly upsetting them. Like everyone just kind of shuts down and they're like, okay, no, I need to get my work done. I need to get whatever I'm doing done. And I'm just not going to talk about what's bothering me.
Yeah, I usually like deal with a lot of things like that myself, because like personally, like I've grown up like with a single mom, and like I've like learned how to cope with like things that like I just do like by myself and I don't associate anyone else with. So like I think like I'm just naturally prone to dealing with things on my own and like asking for help or like confiding in others.
That's good though to know like when it's okay to ask for help because it is
Yeah,
at any moment.
yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah. So this question is for both of you. Was there a time where you dealt with mental health in an unhealthy way?
Yeah, so I've had a couple, I guess you could say like really dark moments. And then I have my boyfriend of like, oh my God, I want to say like 6 years. I've been dating him since I was like 16. Um, so I like to say that I'm very expressive, but when it comes to those dark thoughts, you feel like no one can relate.
Yeah, I can personally like relate to you because like when like COVID hit, I was like spending a lot of time in my room just like doing my work and like sometimes like like me how having like ADHD like I it's really hard to like sit down for like hours or like just read like a textbook uh and like my mind would start to like wander. But
Mhm.
like me just being stuck in my room like really caused me to like be depressed and just boosted anxiety like crazy. And I did have some like thoughts of like suicide, but like thankfully like when like the track season started again, I was able to run out more and like the
Mhm.
quarantine lifted. So I can definitely like relate to like an unhealthy way of dealing with mental illness in like the sense of not sharing with anyone else.
Yeah, because it's really underrated, but that's super important. Like when you think of dealing with ways, unhealthy ways of dealing with mental health, like mental illness and mental health and stuff like that, like you go to like alcoholism or stuff like that, or something like a little more extreme. But like the simple, like not telling people that you're not okay, it has a really big impact.
So, what did you two learn from your experiences in dealing with mental health unhealthily?
I was at one point like pretty suicidal. And I guess you could say that my unhealthy way of coping with it was not really telling anybody. And it's not that I didn't have anybody because I have three really good best friends. We've been friends since kindergarten. I guess it was just that it is okay to ask for help and it is okay to open up to your loved ones, even if you feel like they're not going to understand. You kind of start to think the worst when it comes to opening up to them, maybe for like the first time. But I mean, they're your loved ones for a reason. So, of course, they're going to accept you. I mean, luckily, I was fortunate enough to say that because it's not the same thing for everybody. But for me, I just felt really accepted and understood by them, and I was able to continue to open up with them.
I like came to the realization that like I really had to do something like continuously that would make me happy, regardless of like whatever it was, like making myself a meal or like getting a haircut or like going out for a run. Something that I like really realized was like that deleting like social media, right? And like getting that like focused and like stable mind. Because like for me, like social media kind of like overstimulates my brain. So it's really hard
Hmm.
like to focus when I'm like an hour of social media, and like it's really hard to like get back to that productive day. Um, and like another thing that I learned was how important having the right mindset is, and really like having like a positive mindset, have a positive environment, um, as like much as you can, like be in a positive environment, which like will help you like accomplish your goals and whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
I think it can like cause you to have like some realizations and like, oh, this is not uh, really like reasonable to worry about, right? Like things are going to be fine. So I think it's really important to just like get the negative thoughts out.
Yeah. One thing that's really stuck with me is I forget who had told me this, but I mean it's pretty like widely known, like a saying is that if it's not gonna matter in like a year or so, like why are you worrying about it? Like it's not
Mhm.
worth it. If it's not gonna matter down the road, then it's not worth like, getting super upset over it right now. Um, so yeah. So just leading into our next and final question. Do you guys know anybody who has asked you for help? Has come to you for any type of advice regarding mental health or did you follow your own advice when you needed help?
Yeah, so I have had a couple of people ask me for help. I have no idea why, but they have.
Yeah, I
And
feel that.
yeah, my advice to them, I want to say most of the time, my advice to them would be to communicate or to journal. So, what I mean by that is like a lot of the times my friends would come to me with like relationship problems, family problems, like problems at work, problems at school, stuff like that. And most of the time, their problems would lay in like communication issues. Like they just aren't saying what they want truly, or they're like beating around the bush, whatever it may be. And I would always tell them, like, hey, you should journal this out, journal everything that they would be saying to me, like, write it all out. this is what I do whenever I'm like stuck in a situation, because I feel like me seeing my brain processing the situation as it
Mhm.
is, like I realize that a lot of the things that I'm worrying about are things that aren't happening. Or like a lot of the things that I am like, oh, like this really upset me, is just me like jumping off into a scenario that is not what really happened. And seeing it on paper really helps you understand the situation for what it is,
Yeah.
and being able to like process it in a better way instead of just keeping it all to yourself, like in your head, and just being like mad about something that you aren't even fully seeing the picture of, you know?
Yeah, like processing things like in a
Yeah.
more level-headed way.
Yeah, so for me, I had a couple of friends approach me with and like try to like express what was going on. And some advice that I gave them was, as I said, like do something every day, even if it's just like the smallest thing that'll make you feel happy or feel good. But one of the really big things that like I can't stress enough is like getting exercise, because like for me personally, like exercising has like revolutionized my life. Right, like it gave me that sense of well-being, right? It gave me more energy, and like once like I worked out, like by the end of the day, like I was just like exhausted, right? So it was like I had better nights of sleep. So like I woke up the next morning with like a clear, fresh mind, and also just like educating yourself about the mental illness that you have, or things that like might be going on in your life, like maybe like reading articles, because like once you know what truly is going on, like you can start a plan uh to combat it.
No, yeah, I understand the whole exercise thing. I know like a lot of people it's not for them, but like getting like the smallest bit of like even going out for a walk or something, you could really clear your mind and it's really beneficial for your overall health. Like you could see like this domino effect within yourself.
Exactly.
Um, because like when I wasn't exercising, like I was pretty lazy, like, I wasn't doing anything. I have a regular office job, I'm sitting at a desk all day, so it got kind of depressing, like, I didn't like seeing myself like that, so making myself do these things, getting up so early in the morning, which I never thought I would ever do, it really helped me feel really good about myself. So I think that's it for today. We can wrap up. So today our topic was coping with mental health and mental illness. We heard from myself, Itzel, Diana, and Albaraa on the topic, and we learned today it's okay to open up to your loved ones. Every little bit helps, and it's just very underrated because you can really feel like you're getting this weight lifted off of your chest. Also, another thing that I really like is journaling. I myself have never journaled because I hate writing. I mean, just hearing Diana's and Albera's perspective on it, even I learned something today. It can really be beneficial to making you look at things from a different perspective and look at things more level headed. Also, we talked about, just getting some basic like exercise, and maybe it doesn't have to be daily, but just starting off with like a day or two a week, and it could really have some good impact on your overall health. And now for today's resource, since our episode was about dealing with mental health concerns, our resource for today is a short article about coping skills. So you heard us talk about the way that we've dealt with our mental health and mental illnesses. We've dealt with it a couple negative ways, but we really want to stress that there are resources out there that can show you positive ways of dealing with things. So we will share this link in our description. And, thank you for listening.